Hello, 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 and welcome to a slightly different looking Q&A Thursday here at the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. But, of course, as always, you've got Levi Gates and myself, Dane Hennon, here. Anthony, his back is broken. I hear it's spinal, but broken. It's broken. It's just broken. So anyway, he might walk through the studio. We don't know for sure. He could appear at any time. But in the meantime, we've got your questions right here, and don't be afraid. Keep them coming. We got 2 hours of this all waiting for you.
Now, I was just going to say, we set this up. You guys probably wonder, we're in the studio because, well, this is really the only place we could clean up enough to have the show.
Don't look at the rest of it.
The podcast studio is still under construction. The main studio is still under construction. But I thought, gosh, we should have just carried the couch in here.
Oh, yeah.
And then I remembered we'd have to take all the legs off and put them back on, and what a pain in the butt it is.
It's a process.
I thought, wouldn't it be great if we just put it right here for Anthony, and it would be like our talk show, and he was a guest.
A therapist couch,
but he's laying on the couch, because that's what he's doing right now, because his back still hurts.
So anyway, guys, this is a slightly different physical arrangement, but the show itself will remain. We will answer your questions, detailing,
feels good to be back,
all that stuff. It feels good to be back because it's been a couple weeks, and we know you've been missing it. So we're just happy to see you all, your bright and shining faces, wherever they are on the other side of your screen. We're just happy you joined us. So anyway, housekeeping, do we have anything?
Well, obviously, you guys, it's been a while since you probably heard me say it, but you do need to sign up for the newsletter.
Hey,
if you're not signed up, please go to theragcompany.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, or if it's your first time on our website, the details pops up and it lets you know that you can sign up, or just go right down here where you see on the screen, it says having FOMO, fill it out, put your email address, and then you will be notified every time that we've got something going on. And like yesterday, we sent out an email because the new video dropped.
We've been better about making sure people are aware that there's like a new video drop, so you don't have to rely on necessarily YouTube notifying you, because let's be honest, YouTube's not been great about that lately.
Yeah, so you can go on there, you can see maybe we've tied a product to a particular video, so like, hey, you can pick up that product right then and there if you want to. So please feel free to scoot on over there if you haven't already. Thank you for those of you that have signed up, but for those of you just tuning in and joining us, please go over there to ragcompany.com, sign up for the newsletter today. Other than that, Dane, it's getting warm out.
Yeah, it's a little
People
toasty.
are cleaning their cars, they're mowing their lawns, there's a lot of pollen in the air.
There's cottonwood going around.
There is cotton
I
flying
drove through
around.
like a cloud. It was floating right above the road level, and when I went through it, the whole thing like broke and just it was kind of crazy.
A lot. So this is where a lot of folks feel like, man, I just washed my car. I went to the grocery store. It came out. It was dusty. It's not really dust. A lot of that is pollen, and most people don't recognize the difference. So there's a lot of great products that you guys can start picking up, utilizing. I'm sure you're getting your pressure washers out, getting all your buckets cleaned out, ready to go.
Pipes.
Yeah, get ready to start washing, because it is detailing season. So short of that, we're going to have some upcoming sales.
Yes.
We got Memorial Day coming up.
We do.
And of course, you guys have always seen our Memorial Day ads or videos that we've done. Last year's was really cool.
Yeah.
This year we've got something really special in mind, so you're not going to want to miss that. And what else do we got? We got Father's Day coming up. We just had Mother's Day. Hopefully you guys got your mom something good.
Yeah, hope you're looking after your moms
wives
out there. Come on.
And things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, Dane, pretty simple.
That's it?
Yeah, we've just been going and getting stuff done. We've been playing with products. We've been using things.
To be clear, you guys have been doing some experimentation with some possible products maybe in the future might be interested in.
Testing,
you never know.
That's all.
The thing is, we're always testing new products. There's stuff going on in the background at all times, but as spring comes around, that stuff kind of kicks up into higher gear. So it's fun to see what's going on out in the studio. However, a lot of this has been construction out here. It's just been a ton of literally like raising the roof.
Well, because we finished, as everyone knows, we finished TRCMA. So thank you to those of you that are still continuing to watch it and keeping up on it. But that was the perfect time, right? It's always the build up to the big show. And then we've got the time now to just, let's hurry.
There's no relaxing,
let's
though.
hustle. Let's get it torn apart. Let's get it rebuilt. So we've raised the trussing in this building up. We've pulled lights. We've gone through all the lights that may or may not have been burned
feels
out.
at least a third to potentially another half larger than it already was.
Yeah.
It feels massive in here. And the other thing is I have had my own personal project over in the TRC podcast studio, which is why we are not in that right now. I kind of ripped it to shreds. So I've been putting up wallpaper, filling in holes in the wall, doing a lot of things. There's new furniture. There's going to be plants, like all kinds of stuff. I'm making it really cool and fun
doing a lot of work
for this huge undertaking that I've had trying to develop the new format and stuff. So just know, if you do like it, great, you can thank me. If you don't like it, you can blame me, and I'm okay with that because I've been really passionate about this. But I'm really excited to show you guys what we've what I've been cooking
and then
up.
the other thing is we moved hosting sites, so the podcast is now hosting off of Spotify.
That is an excellent point because I just got things moved over to Spotify, which means I'm able to post video podcasts there now, which is really awesome. And I did a test today. I took the Q&A we did from 2 weeks ago, posted as a video. So now that one's accessible on Spotify, and it should push forward as audio to the other platforms. But if you have any issues getting new updated episodes, let us know. Give us a message, a comment, something below this video.
One of the fun things.
So I know, because moving platforms, sometimes connections get a little screwy. So if you have your favorite platform and it's not Spotify or something and you're not seeing it show up, let me know so I can go check out that platform.
The other great thing with Spotify is we now have the capability. You guys can leave us an audio message.
Yeah, actually.
On the page, on the actual Rag Company podcast page. So you can leave us a little voicemail, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So feel free to go over there and do that. We appreciate it.
Please use it wisely. I can only imagine. I mean,
don't worry, we'll listen to any before we publish them, Dane. Like, we'll find out who it is.
I didn't tell you about this. Anthony and I got our first piece of physical hate mail to show up.
You did?
Telling us to stop talking so much on the podcast and to just let Levi do all the talking.
That's awesome.
So that was great. That makes me feel seen. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
When did we get that mail? Why haven't I seen it? I want to frame that.
Because we don't want to blow up your ego. That was for Anthony and I to read and feel attacked, and for you, you don't need to know that person clearly loves you best. So that's already built in.
That's hilarious.
But I just let you know now, so now everyone else gets to hear it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
it's like
you're
the
welcome.
comment on our latest video about how good of a person I am. So,
yeah.
If you guys haven't, we got a new video, Soap Buddies. Go check it out.
Yes.
And it's all about the different soaps. And their makeup, all the soaps we carry here at the Rag Company. I know there are a ton of soaps out there in the market, but
the comments are full of all the
We're talking about it
alternatives.
on what we have in store and the differences between them, and that's why we did that. So,
all right. Without further ado,
to answer some questions.
I've got some questions, some comments. Let me throw up the last bandit here as our first. Hi guys, from across the pond in the UK. Love the show. Have just purchased the large bottle of Crystal Wash and would like to know if it can be used in the IK Pro 12 electric sprayer.
Yes.
There we go. Simple enough.
Totally. Yeah.
If you're
Put it in
looking
there,
for a
you run it
follow-up,
straight. You don't dilute it. But yeah, you can totally fill that with Crystal Wash. You can dilute it a little bit, but not a lot.
Okay. Simple enough.
Yeah, I try to run it straight. Spencer B saying, hey everyone, glad to see everyone back in action. It's been a while since we've gotten an update on Anthony and his sciatica. How's it been going? Been able to find some relief? All the best. So he's on a regimen of drugs and
he uses
on
the couch at the front of the shop here, like
and he's got a
religiously.
squishy cushion, and of course he's been rocking his Brooks Aurora Borealises.
Yeah, he got one of those like hemorrhoid donut things you sit on for
walking
his
around on that.
chair. But you know what?
Good.
If it helps, it helps.
But he is better. He's been back at work. He is uncomfortable when he's at work, so he moves to different areas of the studio, whether he's sitting in a gray chair, whether he's sitting in his office chair like what we're sitting in, or he's laying on the couch. He's kind of always in motion.
He's a guy who doesn't like to sit still very long. He's kind of restless.
Yeah, but then when you do sit, to be sore, but then he can't stand for too long, so then he
doesn't have a choice.
So
yeah,
it's been a lot of frustration for him.
Yeah,
so
rest
thank
assured,
you, Spencer. We appreciate
he
it.
is okay, but he could be doing a lot better.
Yeah.
He's just not quite there yet. All right, I've got forced induction drive here. Levi, go ahead and take
saying, good afternoon, and a word up from Smoky, Minnesota. Thank you, Kevin. Work sent me here, so hopefully Dan Pfeiffer doesn't mind me using his catchphrase.
I think it's a Q&A catchphrase at this point,
Kevin.
so we welcome it from one from all. Speaking of one, the one who shall remain nameless, what's his name today?
Let's call him Travis.
Travis. Okay, we got Travis here. Good afternoon from the moist south coast of Massachusetts. Why's it got to be moist? Welcome back, everyone. Well, I appreciate
humid.
the sentiment.
Probably humid over there. You never know.
Could be. Hans, gotta have. Well, you don't
Finally
have a show
back
without
to
Hans.
normal. Man, it was a long year.
It wasn't a
It's
year.
only been
it was
like
a
2
couple
weeks.
But we appreciate that. It feels you missed us so much that it
Feels
felt
like
that
a
way.
year. That's
Yeah.
good. It's
I'll
good.
take it.
And Dino with a welcome back, guys. Good to see you all. Have to skip this one because I'm working a night shift. We'll catch up later. Take care. Not a problem, Dino. Thank you.
You take care
for,
as well.
Tuning in to say hello. We appreciate
Yeah, of
it.
course.
And then Travis to Kevin. Hey, Kevin, you're not missing much in Massachusetts.
Well,
Or MA, that's Mass.
yeah, that would be Mass.
Yeah, but he was in Minnesota.
Right, now I'm confused.
Yeah.
That would be MN.
Yeah.
Is Montana MT?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Today I'm being reminded of postal code. Okay,
That's right.
anyway, moving along.
And then he says, I think Frostbite feels left out of the soap gang. Frostbite, yeah. Frostbite wasn't released when we shot that video.
yeah.
Just so you guys know. That's why everybody was going, what the heck, why are you doing Frostbite? It wasn't that. We shot that before, I think it was right before TRCMA or
Yeah,
right after.
it
But we
was-
didn't have Frostbite.
It was right before that. But the
Right
funny part
before,
was,
yeah.
at least the people who were saying, why don't you have Frostbite there, were sharp enough to figure out that the soaps in the video were all soaps that we carried. There
Yeah.
are a ton of comments there, people going, oh man, you guys really messed up by
you
not
forgot
including
this one,
insert
you
brand
forgot
and
this
soap
one.
here when we don't carry it.
Yeah,
but the
it was
point
great,
is,
though. A
yeah,
lot of people commented, said that's
Oh,
because
yeah.
they don't carry it.
A lot of
They're-
them.
If you notice, they're
there
only
were
talking
smart
about their
folks in
soaps.
there. But
yeah, no,
yeah.
would have loved to have included Frostbite. But yeah,
Sure.
we shot that before TRCMA.
For reference, though, what's the pH on Frostbite?
I believe it's an 8.5 or 9.
Thought it was 9
It
something.
might be 9.5.
It's up there. It's pretty up there. All right, we got Aaron Bauer here. We are so back. Happy Friday Eve.
Nice. Thank you,
Thank you, Aaron.
Appreciate it.
All right, you got the next one here.
And then Travis asking, Happy Friday, Junior, everyone. Today is my Friday. I have tomorrow off. Well, aren't you so
Good.
lucky? That'll be a great little weekend, 3-day weekend.
Hey,
Umberto with the Hello
Umberto.
TRC team. What's up, Umberto? How are you?
and a bunch of hellos from Umberto to everybody else. Then I've got David Cervantes here saying, "What's up, guys? Welcome back, David. Happy
What's
to have
up,
you
David?
Here." David Boyce.
David
Go ahead.
Boyce, who sent such a lovely comment on my Soap Buddies video.
Yeah.
Levi and Anthony and Dane, where have you been? You guys were missed. Thank you, David.
We've all
Tip of
been
the cap
working.
to you, sir. We appreciate the sentiment.
Thank you. Sapper in a Shelby. Oh, well, hello there. So he must have just caught the notification in
Yeah.
passing. So it's very casual, kind of, oh, hi. Well,
Hello
nice
there.
to see you here, Sapper. And then we got a bunch of hellos back and forth. I'll see if I can find the real questions.
Okay.
Han saying, well, where we were was we fell asleep in our massage chairs.
I wish I had a massage
Yeah,
chair.
that'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? One who shall remain nameless, you're Travis today. Can y'all give us a sneak peek into the Memorial Day sale? Any special stickers this year? I think
So I will say,
we can allude to...
yes, there is going to be a special sticker.
Yes.
But that's really all I'm going to say.
Yeah. That's about all we can do.
I
here
almost
for
put
now.
the sticker on my water bottle, but I decided it's still too early
Yeah, give
to
it a
do
chance.
that. So
a little bit of
yeah,
time.
we do have
Yeah.
it. We got the stickers made early, so we are prepared.
We're ahead of the curve this year.
Then Hans to Travis, it will be a red, blue, and white stroopwafel sticker. I'm sure of it. Close.
Not
Hans.
quite.
And then Rick, what's up, TRC family? Let's go.
Hey, hey.
What's up, Rick?
He's saying hello to Humberto, of course. David Boyce here. Here we go.
Levi and I have a dilemma. The customer has this clear, viscous, dry substance on the hood. Late model Regal. How should I attack it? Frostbite, then 3D eraser gel? Let me know, dog.
All right. help him
Clear,
out.
viscous, dry substance on the hood. Is it tree sap, like pine sap? Is it sticky, viscous? Is it rubber cement style? Is it like an adhesive?
Yeah, you're not sure what it is.
Clear, viscous, dry substance. Viscous would mean that it's still moving.
Yeah,
but you
so
can,
it's got some give.
it's got a bit of bounce to
what
it,
he's
probably,
indicating
right?
here.
Yeah, you could do that.
Pretty broad, though.
Try that. Try alcohol. You could try lacquer thinner.
I knew you were going to say lacquer thinner.
Dane,
always.
It works every time. Lacquer thinner is the answer to most of life's problems.
And that's why I was going to make a Live, Laugh, Love sign for the new studio that said, Levi loves lacquer thinner, because it's funny.
But no, it is true. Usually if something like that, if I don't know what it is, I usually hit it with lacquer thinner first.
All right. Well, that's established. Okay, we got some back and forth. I got Kirby here. Kirby.
Might be adhesive.
There we go.
Kirby, how are you? We saw that you crashed your bike.
We hope you're okay.
I know you hurt your shoulder, you broke your collarbone, and your AC. So I hope you are in a position where you can enjoy the show and enjoy us and the rest of the gang. Just make sure everybody gives Kirby a little get well soon.
We hope you're more comfortable than Anthony is.
Yeah, I hope that he is more.
All right. Well, Kirby, take care.
We got hit a dog or hit the ditch, so he chose to hit the ditch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, looking out for another life. Yeah. That's the thoughtful way.
Pedro Carrillo, welcome back, guys. Didn't know what to do with myself last Thursday while sitting in a dock delivering goods around the Chicago area. Well, Pedro, now your Thursdays are back to normal, right?
We've got you.
There you go.
We've got you. Travis here saying, look at that new studio. Now, this is not the new studio. Don't confuse it. But
well, would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
This is our normal studio, man. We're just making do with what we got.
Yeah, you can't see the part that changed.
Yeah. This is the table we usually stand up to do FAQs on.
Yeah. No, the fun of this is we look like a couple of guys who are like at a middle school announcements table trying to deliver the announcements. At least that's what I was told.
Perfect.
I thought it would be kind of fun at news desk, but you know. David Boyce here. Powder Blue R32 at GTR Skyline. Yes, if you are not familiar with that photo that I used for today's thumbnail, there's actually a Wash Wednesday episode where we take that car out for a drive, wash it, all that stuff. You should go check it out if you're interested. More new studio comments. Let's take a look. Moving along. Nope, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, so moving. Oh, yeah, there we go. David Boyce. Looks like guys have no legs or sitting on the floor. Weird.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the table we stand to do all our FAQs and all that stuff at. So
that's true.
We're utilizing it for today. Sapper and Shelby saying, I miss the shenanigans. Welcome back, man. Appreciate it. And then the detailing advice is a close second. Well, thank you, Sapper. Appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate that. Some people feel it should be the other way around, but we try and find a happy medium. Yeah. Anthony, I can relate to your back pain, says Kirby.
Kirby can, physically.
Yeah. The boys grew a beard in the absence of Q&A. Now, that's true, but I always have some facial hair.
So have I. We both had beards for
you rarely shave your full face.
A few years now.
Anthony, on the other hand, I don't think he can grow facial hair as much as we do, so he compromises.
He can. He just stops. He grows to a point.
A dirt stash.
Yeah, but he grows to a point where it gets itchy. But he doesn't understand that our friends at the Beard Struggle use offer code Levi15 to get 15% off your next order. Helps soften and keep that facial hair
smooth. It can get you through that period.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Travis, what you got for us?
Can we get a peek of the construction on the new studio?
Well,
no, Dane is keeping it under wraps because he really wants to surprise you guys when we unveil the new podcast. And when we do, when it's finished, Dane will take a number of gorgeous photos of it and we will post it on the Facebook group so you guys can see it.
It's a process.
But as of right now, it is just imagine our old studio with the table gone and like some of everything off the walls. That's pretty much it.
It's stripped bare right now.
We had to we had to fill a lot of holes. And move wires and all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah, now a lot of holes in the walls have been filled only so we can create new holes in different places because stuff is getting rearranged.
Yep.
So that's really the brunt of it. Yeah, Berto here saying he hopes Anthony gets better soon. Appreciate that. Ryan, who's the dude on the right?
Me?
Are you asking my right or are you asking stage right as in me? I'm Dane. I'm the guy who's been around. Unless it's because I'm wearing glasses today. I've worn glasses plenty of times on the podcast. I don't know what they're talking about. All right, there's got to be some detailing questions in here, guys. Come on.
Rick Smith, where's my new Ultra Wheel brush? We have to maybe check the mail, Rick?
If you buy it, it should show up. That's the idea. I've got Hans here. So, Tony has been using a sledgehammer too much. Actually,
I wish it was that.
Done nothing like that.
Yeah.
No.
I think he got out of his Honda and hurt his back.
Yeah, no, he told me in a very, very depressed tone that he hasn't been able to drive any of his cars, only his truck.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like slowly eating away at him a little bit. It's definitely bothering
Sounds like
him.
It's time to sell him.
Yeah.
He's pretty much crippled for the rest of his life.
That.
Sounds like he's pretty much, that's what's
Yeah.
up. Hans, any special plants?
I don't think it's like that.
It's a lot of ferns and things like that.
I got a yucca plant.
Oh, nice. David Boyce says, you two definitely look shorter. Yeah, that's because the way this chair, this is as high as this chair goes, so I can't sit higher.
They asked me if I wanted to do a different setup with the green wingback chairs, and I said, no, we're going to sit like we're doing the announcers. We're going to sit like it's a news desk.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that everybody is making fun of it, so that's great. Yeah, Travis, didn't get new glasses. No, these are the same glasses I've worn for many other things, but I appreciate it.
I think it's the lighting in the studio is a little different, and that's why it's showing us off a little different.
It is showing us a little differently, because what did change was the lighting overhead. That is definitely different from what it was before. Okay, we got Robin here. Now, Robin, what's Robin
Wanted to
saying?
take a second and give a shout out to Lucas on the customer service team at the Rag Company. Exceptional customer service provided by Lucas on my wool wheel mitts I ordered. Give him a raise. We will take a quick snapshot of this here for Lucas, or Lucas is probably doing that right now. Lucas, if you're not watching the Q&A right now, please stop what you're doing and take a screenshot of this so you can pass this off to your superiors.
Local time is 14:22:10 Mountain Time. There we
go.
All right.
The Bearded Hunter.
What is up, everybody?
What's up, Hunter?
Welcome,
How are you,
Bearded.
man?
We are happy to have you. David here. Levi, the soap video was spectacular. And
Thanks,
actually,
man. I had a lot of fun making that.
I want to point out
Jimmy
the
and I
soap
were
video.
laughing so every take we did with each soap. Like, I feel bad because there was one part.
Took it down some paths.
There was one part that they cut out that I'm like, why didn't we keep in? That was like integral to the story of that I portrayed throughout the whole thing. But Glenn said I rambled and it didn't make sense. So she goes, I can't animate that part.
Because she did some awesome animations.
Yeah, Glenn did all the animation there. It was awesome.
The thing I wanted to address regarding that video was some commentary about people thinking that you were being overly cautious about those strong soaps.
Oh, yeah, there was a whole Reddit detailing post.
All those things. And they're just like, they made a big deal out of it. They're like, come on. And they used it as an opportunity to try and make digs at coatings. Like, oh, they should be able to handle this kind of stuff. Not realizing that there are many, many reasons that go
literally,
beyond
that's the trending
coatings, why you shouldn't be using such a strong soap on your vehicle all the time. And there's some people who got very comfortable with it, and if it works for you, that's fine. But just know there are long-term ramifications for doing that.
And the reason
they go beyond coatings.
The reason is it just dry. It's like, how make this so people understand? So, let's say you put sunscreen on your arms, and the sunscreen that you bought is water repellent sunscreen.
Yes.
Okay. And you put that on and you're at the beach and you're like, man, I can jump in the water and it doesn't wash off and this is awesome. This is great. Well, there might come a time where you need to wash that stuff off and your normal soap isn't going to wash it off.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Because maybe you're like, I just need to take a quick little shower. I got some sand on me, right? But I'm going to reapply it and I'm going to go back out.
Sure.
If you were to strip that off multiple times in an area that you were at, right? So let's say you're in a high sun, high UV index area, and you're using a high chemical wash or a low acidic wash weekly, it is going to have an effect on your coating because your coating or your sealant is not designed to be washed or maintained with a high pH or a low pH soap. That's why we recommend doing them every few months or every 60 to 90 days, because it will clean and reset, but it doesn't need to be every month or twice a week or what people are doing. And yes, you're right, that coating should be able to handle it, but it wasn't designed to be washed that aggressively chemically, not physically, chemically, the way that people are doing that.
The idea, if we're talking specifically regarding coatings, the idea is left to their own devices in the environment where people aren't throwing acids on their car on a regular basis by just driving through things. That happens in YouTuber torture tests. Mm-hmm. That's a different thing. That's not real life as much as someone would want to try and convey it that way. That's not the end all be all. Real life is, frankly, unique to the car involved. So if it's out there driving on the roads, its experience may not be exactly the same as someone else in a totally different state, in a different region of the country. Stuff differs. Frankly, a lot of our stuff up here tends to last pretty well, but we get things like rock chips and stuff like that. That's a totally different animal.
You go into like winter, right? Yeah. We're going to see a lot more de-icer. We're going to see a lot more grime, a lot more sand on the roads because we use traction sand. But we don't get salt.
We use traction sand mostly.
So the car is going to get dirtier.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to need to clean it off. So we are going to need a heavier chemical.
Of course.
But you go through the summer, spring and summer, and as long as you don't have a lot of rain or wind and all you have is really the pollen that's floating around, you don't need to decon your vehicle with at a 9.5, 10, 12, 14 wash that week.
You shouldn't have to.
You don't have to. You can put your snow foam in your car. You can put just Mata, you can put Pearl, you can use Force-Bite if you want, but there's not a need to use
Force-Bite
or Frostbite every week, right? Yeah. Like Frostbite, you don't need to use it every week.
No, you shouldn't.
You can use it every 60 days if you want to.
Okay.
Give your car a good wash. It's like, I always joke when Anthony and I talk about, different soaps that we use in the shower, right?
Yeah.
I'm not using Dawn dishwashing detergent to clean my body. Like, there's no need for that. I'm not using a lava bar of soap.
You're telling me that every time you go and take a shower or a bath, you're not just taking an acid bath or like doing a full chemical peel every single time.
Like there's no need for that. I can just use
that would be insane.
I can use a bar of Dove soap or Irish Spring and just soap up and rinse my body off. Like, yes, I'm going to use Dawn dishwashing detergent when I've got to get the grease out of my hands from working on my brakes, or doing something heavy. But the rest of the time, I'm just using normal hand soap to wash my hands because I don't want to dry. They're already going to get dried out.
Here's the biggest thing about that. If you're someone who already takes care of your car, you're already doing better. Your car is already doing better than
100%.
90% of the other cars on the road. If you're someone who takes initiative in making sure your car's, exterior maintenance, cleaning kind of stuff is handled, it automatically renders whatever extreme version of a wash you were going to do kind of moot, unless you're in a weird scenario where something happens as kind of a freak of nature kind of thing happens. But the reason those soaps often exist, those extreme ones, is for you're running a detail shop, something comes in, you can't quite figure out exactly
you don't
what
have a history
on it. It's
on
crazy.
It. Yeah.
You have no idea what the history of the vehicle is, but you need to get it to a clean state. Great, this is like hitting the fast forward button, you cut through it. The idea is not, I do that every 2 weeks to a car that I own.
Well, we had a customer.
Because you're going to eventually fry other things, going well beyond the coatings, as I was saying. It's like, what about the trim plastics? What about the rubber seals? What about
those
all
aren't coated
things that aren't, a coated surface necessarily? Maybe you do, but if you take care of your car, perhaps you're already aware of those things. But for the people who aren't, that's really where those are meant to be.
Well, and the same thing with the other comment was on bug removers.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize you don't have to use a bug remover if you're washing once a month, okay, use a bug remover. It's been a month since the last wash, and I'm sure you've collected a ton of bugs. But if it's like we washed Dane's car yesterday, and he ran to his house and maybe a couple errands, and he's pulling it in, and he's pulling out a bug remover, and I go up there, and there's like 3 bugs on your car.
Yeah.
Why are you using a bug remover? Just use soap and water. Your car's coated. Your car's protected. There shouldn't be a need to use a bug remover that heavy or that caustic to strip those bugs off.
Yeah, a pH neutral soap is basically just
And a
meant to
Jersey
be
bug
like
scrubber or clay scrubber will take all of that off.
Think of a pH neutral soap as like a furniture dolly, and the dirt is the furniture. You're just trying to safely ferry it away from the surface that it's currently on. You're just trying to move it away. You're not trying to freaking evaporate it, eviscerate it, atomize it completely.
Yeah.
You're looking to move it off the surface, and it winds up on the ground in a drain.
But if your cousin brought his car in, and you guys used to see the car on a number of our videos where we had a million bugs on the front.
That's when you go talk to Oppenheimer and you say, okay, we got to nuke this thing.
Yeah, that's when you bring in a bug remover. That's when you soak the front, because you need to get some of that off, because it's bonded, because it's stuck, because that car doesn't have any protection underneath it.
But at the same time, our audience, most of you, if you have the wherewithal to come and find a show where it's like, hey, we answer detailing questions, you're already doing better than, like I said, 90% of the people out there, because you're showing an active interest in this sort of thing, which means chances are your car is not in as terrible a state as the ones that these particular soaps are really geared towards. That's kind of the end all be all. All right, moving along, we have Contemplative Rooster. Wow, that's a name. Would you use rapid rinseless wash in a pad washer?
Yes, I would.
Okay, interesting. Can you explain your process?
Because it'll help clean the pads. It encapsulates, it emulsifies, does everything that it needs to. Because I've been using O&R in a pad washer since I started using a pad washer. So RRW is perfect for that.
And I've got Alex Dewar here. Welcome, Alex. Welcome home, friends.
Thanks, Alex.
Welcome to you as well. Thanks, Alex. I've got Chris here. Chris M saying, have you ever seen water spotting or etching from pollen getting wet? Both cars in the household have water spots, but have only been washed with DI and TDS confirmed each time.
No. Most water spotting usually comes from other sprinklers or public water. Etching from pollen getting wet. It depends on the sunlight also.
I mean, yeah, if it got wet, like for example, you got pollen on there, sprinklers or something got it wet, hit it, and then the sun baked it.
But it could happen if you have a microburst of rain.
Yeah. We get dirty rain.
Yeah,
that's kind of our thing.
Spots. We get dirty rain, which is a sticky rain that leaves spots if you don't scrub them off.
Really annoying.
And that's usually pollen, dirt stuck from the rain, and that happens in the springtime, early spring, early summer here in Boise. So it can happen. The biggest thing is if that car gets saturated enough and the sunlight hits it at the right angle and it's hot enough, it'll boil that water onto the surface.
Yeah, I mean,
so then you'll get a bit of a ring, but it's not a.
The water evaporates away, but whatever mineral content or other things were in
it might be in the rain or what's on the surface. It might be some dirt, some pollen. Then that would boil itself into the surface.
But that feels like it has more to do with the water at that point than with the pollen itself.
Yeah.
The pollen is simply the thing that's getting the ride. The water's providing the transportation. Yeah. All right, Hans here. In Amsterdam, they have good drugs to get your pain free back, though. Okay,
that's good to know. Thanks, Hans.
That's very helpful. Bearded Hunter, Contemplative Rooster. I haven't tried it yet, but Jamie the Cleaner loved it in his.
Yeah.
Okay. Bam. All right, we got Spencer Mation here. You got Spencer.
Hey, Spencer's here.
Yeah.
Hey guys, out of all the TRC towels, what are you grabbing for rinseless and waterless washing? Pluffle, Eagle 500, so on. Wolfpack.
Yeah. Remember when we used to have the Minx? The Wolfpack kind of
the Minx was really developed to be a rinseless wash towel, and the Wolfpack is the successor, I guess you could say of the Minx, because it's more of a
coral fleece.
It's a coral fleece circular knit hybrid, is what it is. So it has the benefits of the Eagle with the benefits of the Minx.
Splits the difference.
Stuck together.
Yeah.
So.
And the main thing about the Minx, for example, and this also carries over to the Wolfpack, is a spongy quality. You get this really spongy quality when they get wet that's unique compared to just a circular knit weave like an Eagle or something like that. It feels totally different.
Yeah, and it doesn't what's cool with that is it doesn't when it gets saturated, it doesn't like flatten. It still has some buoyancy.
Circular
which is nice
knitweave will kind of mat down.
Yeah.
But with the coral fleece, it'll actually stay kind of fuzzy even though it's wet.
Yeah.
So slightly different.
I did a car this past week like that with a Wolfpack.
There we go.
Harley 17. I like the way you talk at the same time. You're welcome, man.
I think that's the hate commenter there. Good. Glad we found him. So that's kind of the thing around here. One of the things people watching sometimes have a hard time with is you and I and Anthony, we all talk over each other and perfectly aware of it. I'm sure it drives some viewers a little crazy, and apologies for that if that's something that you're particularly sensitive to. But it is also what is most authentic about our way of interacting with each other. Like, it's real when we're all kind of talking at each other, over each other, all that kind of thing, because you're excited to share an idea.
Yeah.
You're excited to, convey something. And if somebody says something that reminds you of something and you don't want to lose that idea, you're really going, come on, I want to share. And you're really trying to find that moment.
We are train of thought speakers.
You're trying to find, exactly, we're stream of consciousness speakers. It doesn't come across the most professional at times, but it is authentic. So that is the constant struggle of figuring out, okay, we could be more like upright, rigid, and talk in a very produced manner with scripts and all that stuff. But frankly, I just don't feel like that would be true to what it is we started doing here all those years ago. And I don't know, that's a personal take, but I don't know if you and Anthony feel the same way. I assume you do, but that's just my assumption. It's always a balancing game.
Yeah, it's we always do our best to try and let the others speak, but we usually get into a train of thought or a stream of consciousness, and we want to run with it before we end the path of that topic.
Yeah, and waiting for a pause to the point that you're doing that and it feels awkward. The pauses feel awkward, so we're almost like talking to fill the space, but it's not just to fill the space, it's just your brain is barfing ideas out. So that is a trade-off. But that's something that we've always kind of experienced, and apologies if it's not for you. But we do our best to try and find a happy medium there. All right, we got Peter Brookins. Hey, TRC crew, great to have you back.
Thanks,
Thank you, Peter. And he follows up.
What is the pH of snow? It's about 8.5.
All right, there we go. And Kevin Miser
also
here.
Depends on your water.
Well, that's true. Yeah, if we learned anything, your water has a pretty strong effect on how much your pH differs in a product. Kevin
Miser. I've been listening to the podcast as I commute, work, I do chores, etc. I've been working backwards and finally hit December 2022 episodes. The continuity of the jokes is stellar.
Somebody who
Welcome to the lore that is the Rag Company, my friend.
Kevin, a man of culture. He understands it. He appreciates it. Now, we don't ever want it to be alienating. Somebody feels like, oh, there's like lore. I don't want to have to learn all this just to be able to listen.
It's a number of different things that we have created that are continual.
Like the Deep South being in California.
Yep. The Deep South being California. Dane's love of Christmas trees. The fabulousness that is Express Cafe.
Of course.
Dane always buying a different car and never being satisfied with one car.
Seems like I can't go a year.
But right now, to be fair, Dane literally, as someone who's known Dane for almost a decade,
Dang.
These two cars that he has currently in his stable are two top-tier, all-time wanted vehicles.
Oh yeah, love them.
These are cars that I think you would not get rid of.
No,
in a long time, because I feel like your journey was to get to this point.
That's
your
fair.
Car journey, right? Because if you think about it, we'd be at SEMA, and you'd be hearing Huracans and all kinds of crazy engines, and Dane would be like, oh, that's this, oh, that's that, oh, that's that. And he was jaded because he was so excited to see, not jaded, but so excited to see all these crazy custom cars and supercars and hypercars, finding, stuff around corners. And then we'd go to a casino or to a place for dinner, and you'd walk through the parking lot and Dane would stop because, oh, guys, that's a That's a twin turbo all-wheel drive Ford Flex. See that? Did you guys see that Ford Flex back there? And he'd stop and take pictures of it. And he'd spend more time looking at that car than he would at the other cars that he saw during the day. And that was one of the times we knew, oh, that's been put in a high place of honor. And then when those new Miatas came out, Dane, like, he made that as wallpaper on his computer and we were like, Dane, you don't own one of those. And he was like, that's going to be my wallpaper, guys. Someday I will. Someday. And then he bought like 3 Jags or 4 Jags.
Which I also loved. Like,
you do, but you don't love the Jag the way you love a Miata. You're a Miata man.
Speaks to the soul. It's like something deep in your core is finally being met with, hey, how you doing? Because sometimes you feel a little ice cold, you feel a little jaded, you feel a little, I don't know, separated. A lot of newer cars are just so sanitized that all the NVH, the noise, vibration, harshness, has been tuned out of them, so things don't feel raw and emotional anymore. You're looking for that emotional connection to the thing you're driving. At least I am. Maybe other people aren't. But for me, it was getting back into something that weighed less than 3,000 pounds, had a manual transmission, and a higher red line. Yeah. So this satisfies all those things. Doesn't matter that it doesn't have a lot of power, because you know what? It feels fast when you're in it, and that's all that matters. And I'm allowed to be cool with that because the previous cars I had were actually incredibly fast. But they're kind of like you're separated from your environment. This, I can pop the top down. The whole thing is super, just tactile, visceral experience. I love it. So,
perfect.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Well, yeah, thanks, Kevin. That was a long-winded answer for, we appreciate you enjoying the jokes.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. All right, Jason Yoda, what's he saying?
Levi, what brand of glasses do you wear? So these are Stacy Adams Gray 5719150 SA 09s. So they are Stacy Adams SA 09s, and the size is 5719150. So
getting real specific.
This is the second pair of these glasses I've had. My first pair was a black frame. This is kind of a wood grain, lighter, what do they call it, tortoiseshell style. But this was the only option they had. But I ordered these on the I looked up those codes on Google, found there was still someone selling Stacy Adams frames, so I just bought the frames, took it down to my local lens shop that I have my lenses done at, and gave them my prescription and had them pop some lenses into it because I love the look of these, and I've always really enjoyed them. But I thought, well, I'll try to get a little lighter, just change it up a bit. Yeah. Yeah, these are one of my favorite glasses.
It's a good look.
So it's almost to the point that I need to buy another pair just to have.
But you're going to go with the same style.
Same style, just get another one before they're gone.
Of course.
Right? So that's kind of my game plan.
All right.
But thank you, Jason.
Yeah. So Travis here saying, I like the name Travis. That's my youngest nephew's name.
See, this is how we find out this stuff, dude.
Excellent.
We know this.
He's not saying his name's Travis. So
yeah,
we're just calling him that.
We're just calling him names that come to us from the ether.
And just so everybody listening in the future understands, the reason we call him a name that isn't his name, as far as we know,
it's because his
username is the one who shall remain nameless. So naturally,
so we give him a name.
It's just like saying, don't touch that. So what do? You go touch that.
We also try to mispronounce people's names. Or on at least their usernames.
Or like saying frostbite is force-bite. That's
force-bite.
I like that. I mean, he likes Star in a Glass Force, so it makes sense. We got David here. I'll try lacquer thinner.
David, seriously, if you guys haven't, like even Gabe was doing a car the other day, and he's like, what should I try, Ulax? And I go, man, you'd be done if you had some lacquer thinner. And he rolled his eyes because he thought it was a joke. And I said, no, you can buy a pint or a quart of lacquer thinner and just have it. Utilize a white towel or a light ice gray. Don't use anything with a dye, but just a white cloth. And baby diapers are great for this, the cloth diaper that you can buy a bag at AutoZone. Just take some, put lacquer thinner on it, and then wipe that area. You'd be amazed how much stuff lacquer thinner takes off. The only places you can't use lacquer thinner is realistically on glass, rubber, and plastic. That's it. But for paint work, anything that's on the paint, man, you can get anything off just about. Paint transfer, tree sap, pine tar sap, adhesive, you can get a lot of stuff off.
Sure. Well, and okay, so here's something for those who are considering using lacquer thinner as their next do-it-all kind of project. since glass and plastic and rubber tend to meet in the same areas that painted metal surfaces that you are working on are, what are some precautions people can take so that they're not potentially touching? Or like if it gets on there, what do they do? Just wipe it off? Or?
Just wipe it off as fast as you can. If it's on glass, get a glass cleaner and wipe it off quick. If it's on black plastic, there's not really much you can do. You'll know when you hit it because it'll turn white.
It'll change.
You're pretty much going to have to, what I used to do is I just wipe that whole area. So let's say it was like a door and I hit a piece of black plastic trim and part of it turned white. I just wipe the whole trim, make it even, and then I would rehydrate or condition that area. It didn't damage it, it just stripped, sucked all the lotion out of your, like the moisture out. So,
okay. So in that scenario, could somebody go back over it with like
100%
solution finish?
You could hit it with alcohol again and then go over it with solution finish.
Okay.
So, but that's what I'm saying. You just rehydrate that area. So whether it's a tire dressing, PSS, a trim dressing, or a trim coating or trim restorer, any of those work. So.
Okay. I just wanted to ask because I know some people are going to go out there and like, oh, now I want to try this.
Yeah, but lacquer thinner on like headlights, taillights, it'll melt them. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it.
So just on paint, and that's all you ever use it for is on paint work. So.
All right. Oh, who's this?
All Day Anthony.
Anthony.
Sorry to hear about this other Anthony and his back. I think in a time like this, Dane and Levi should really treat him well. Massages, chip cookies, and stale gummies. I just think that would help him. Well, that's really nice of All Day Anthony to offer some ideas that we could do to help Anthony get well soon. That's pretty nice.
It's really thoughtful.
We'll have to think about that. Maybe tomorrow we'll do that for him.
I took him to a movie last night.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that was nice of you.
Well, it was pretty late.
You know what we should do? We should order chip cookies for tomorrow here at the studio.
We should.
Here at the studio because he's off tomorrow.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we'll have them.
Make sure everybody else gets some.
Yeah, and that way we all can say, hey, we tried.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because we forgot he wasn't going to be
we didn't
here,
know that you were off.
Makes sense. Chris M.
Lacquer thinner is great stuff. I used to do new car prep back in the day, and it takes rust proofing overspray off like a dream. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you get a mistake and you actually hit the side of the car, you just take a little lacquer thinner and it's gone. You don't have to worry about it. Didn't hurt the paint, nothing.
And new Grand Ambassador, EC Details, saying, hey, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome, sir.
Hello,
Glad to have you here. And Superado saying, Godspeed, my friend, to All Day Anthony.
That's very nice of him. They must be friends.
Which is funny. He's confusing that Anthony with the other Anthony.
Different Anthony's.
It happens a lot. I get it. Oh, wow. Look at this. Anthony Fisher also
Anthony
commenting.
Fisher. Wow, thanks all day, Anthony.
Lots of that.
Those things will be great. I'll get through this. Just a little couch, just a lot of couch time. That's cool. I forgot those two guys know each other.
Yeah. Now they seem to have a pretty
nice
tight relationship.
Anthony said that he is All Day Anthony's videographer and has done some like side work in the past for him.
That seem a little weird to you?
Well, you don't know who All Day Anthony is. You don't see his face.
I've never seen them in the same room together.
Well, I'm sure because there's never anybody else in the video. It's always just All Day Anthony in the video. So of course it would be an Anthony recording him.
Okay.
Helping record. For getting like shots out, like, things like that.
I get it.
But yeah, it is kind of weird to think about. And Anthony said he lives in his neighborhood. That's why the garages look, people go, oh, that's weird. That's like the same layout as your garage. And he's like, well, it's because it's a copycat neighborhood. So
it's
like
cookie cutter.
Yeah. So the houses all look the same.
Everybody's got a Forerunner and Golden Retrievers. And
a lot of that same. It's all that. But so that's what happens when you move to suburbia.
Okay, that's to be expected.
Unlike you or me, which our houses are very unique.
Yes.
Our houses don't look like our neighbors' houses.
I like to think you and I have a lot of character.
Very much.
In our homes as well.
In our homes, yeah.
All right, moving on. We've got Brian.
David Cervantes says he missed his hello.
And I missed your comment. My bad. Yes. Hello.
There you
go. Brian.
You guys should drape gauntlets over your heads and head up the hill in Dane's yard for a healing ritual for Anthony. That's a good idea, Brian. We should do that.
Oh, man.
Maybe tomorrow we'll do that.
Yeah, maybe that'll fix his back. We'll see.
Oh no, we made it worse.
You
We've unleashed some sort of chaos demon.
Like, open some like localized magnetic field that only
fall. So that was a surprise for sure at how easy it worked.
Yeah.
Right? I love the adaptability. I think the egos we've been using the most. All the ego equipment we've found we use almost on a daily basis.
In my project in the podcast room, I have used exclusively the Ego vacuum.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Yeah.
It's so nice. It's a small thing, but it's so nice having a start-stop button for the vacuum on the handle of the actual hose, as opposed to having to go back to the machine all the time to hit it when you need to turn it off or on. It just makes a process. I know it's like a small thing, but it does. It makes a difference. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there you go.
Anthony spit out his water at the ritual comment. Hans here saying Lucas deserves a raise. All right.
Oh, plus
Newly
one there,
noted.
marked 1451. Lucas, if you're paying attention.
I was going to say,
another
think
screenshot.
Is paying these people. No, he's great.
David,
seriously.
Levi, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the pros and cons of dry versus wet sanding by hand. No machine tool allowed. Thank you. I do everything wet. I don't like dry sanding.
Less dust.
Because it's really dusty and I just don't like dealing with it. So I do wet sanding. Like literally, that's all I do.
Now this is
Unless I'm
interesting.
sanding like a piece of wood, then I'm dry sanding.
I mean,
I don't touch paint without water.
It wasn't a car, but I was doing sanding on the walls.
Yeah.
The
You're
studio
dry
that I'm
sanding the
working at.
walls. You couldn't
I was
wet
sanding
sand
the
that.
walls, and I did wet sand the walls a little bit. I got some special Diablo reusable sanding like screens or sheets or whatever they call them. They're like sandpaper, but they pass through, kind of like our clay clay mitts and stuff. It's interesting. I'd never seen it before, but I tried it. It worked pretty good at leveling down the areas where I had to patch holes and stuff. So I was pretty happy with it. But yeah, when I didn't have those wet pads to use, though, it was just a dusty mess. You could see a fine layer of just white film on the carpet. It sucks.
Again, where the Ego vacuum came in handy.
Yes, definitely did. Now this is interesting. Hans thinks it's less messy. Now it depends on your definition of messy. Dust to me, that's messy because it's very fine. It gets in the air.
Hans is right in that it's less messy,
lungs.
where wet sanding gets all over the car.
Yeah.
But in either case, you're going to have to wash the car. I find that I have more control with wet sanding than I do over dry sanding.
Sure.
So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever dry sanded on a car's finish. Only wood and
I
stuff.
have in some senses, but I don't. I don't like doing it.
Like headlights, gotta wet them. DS here. Wow, there really are two different Anthonys.
Amazing.
It's crazy, yeah.
Just
it's
by
like
what you see right
he
there
just
in those
has
comments.
to make sure.
It's two different people, because who could log in out of one account, sign into another account to pretend? I mean, that's
nobody.
Nobody could do
That's
that.
not a thing that people do
yeah.
when they're trying to conceal their identities.
It's the same with some of our viewers. People have been like, I think that viewer is the Meridian Marmot. I think that viewer is Dane's Express Cafe food leftovers. I think, was it someone did one of Dane's massage chair? Dane, like, it has to be two different people. No one could really sign in and out in that quick of time to leave comments. Right?
It's the only reasonable answer.
Yeah. It's got to be different people all the time.
I got Super Auto here saying those high pH soaps were gangster.
Yeah, they're straight up. They don't mess around.
They woke up and chose violets. Yeah.
They do one thing good.
Yeah. They
Alex saying
beat up that
Dane and
surface.
Levi's current seating arrangement is both Levi ordering at Chicago Connection and Dane waiting for cinnamon roll French toast at the Express Cafe. That's right, Alex. There you go.
I like that. Thanks, Alex. Oh, EC with the. I use Dawn with green power mixed with acid for my coatings. Dang, dude, just going hardcore.
Yeah, there you go.
Just want to absolutely set those things on fire.
Yep.
Yeah, next up, we've got Robin here. Go ahead.
Been seeing some videos lately utilizing wash towels versus wash mitts. Any thoughts on one or the other? What TRC towels would you recommend for use for washing versus wash mitts? Robin, again, that's what the Wolfpack was really designed for.
Yeah.
That it is designed to be a good washing towel. But any microfiber towel can be used to wash a car. A lot of people don't realize that or think about that. But you can use a microfiber towel of any type to wash a vehicle depending on what you need it for. Eagles work great for that, but the biggest thing is you can utilize a lot of different variances with each towel. So whether it's the waffle weave or like a pearl weave or one of the lower knit towels, you can kind of dig and scrape a little bit at some gunk and things like that, where your higher power towels are going to be a little more gentle on the surface for washing. So you can use any towel, really just depends. I used a towel on a car the other day to soap water wash it just because I didn't want to bust out a wash mitt. So I just pulled a ripping rag, threw it in the bucket, pulled it out, and
it works.
Washed the whole car down with it and rinsed it out and cleaned it off. And
which I'm sure if somebody's terrified of the thought, oh my God, a ripping rag, you would do that with it? It's like, actually in the right situation.
70-30, and hey, I still got to buff and polish the car and clay it and do a bunch of other stuff. I'm just washing.
You're just trying to get to that point.
Yeah.
So it's got to happen anyway. Aaron Bauer here. EC Details need that reel for Grandambassador content. I know that thing would go hard. So we got Franco here. Ha! Big desk. What's up, nerds?
What's
Glad
up, Franco?
you like the big desk. Oh boy. Says it's coming. Was busy making a Jamie slander video. Oh no. Well, let's see. Oh, love this. Meridian Marmot coming in here trying to stir up some drama. Let's see. Matt Mormon stated on the OG podcast last week that Anthony said active foam sucks. So he is this considered third hand or fourth hand? Like, we're going several layers beyond. This person is saying that this person said that that person said that this thing sucks.
Yeah, so the Meridian Marmot is
take?
saying that Matt Mormon stated on the podcast last week that Anthony said AF sucks. What if he was meaning himself?
To Anthony Fisher.
Anthony Fisher.
That could also be the case.
What if he was referring to himself in the third person? That would be the fourth. Who knows?
Also, I kind of doubt that because active foam
he uses it all the time.
Extremely
useful. It's like
useful,
one of his favorite products.
So,
he uses it all the time.
That was probably sarcasm.
Yeah.
That's what that was. All right, moving along. We got Spencer B in the house. Will TRC be carrying KCX's SO.03? And if so, when will it be available?
It is slated
for sale?
to become available.
So that's a yes, but it's not available just yet. As far as timing,
I know for a fact it'll be going to Amazon first. But yeah.
Okay. Well, until we have more
direction on that. But it should be also,
that.
Because it is a good product and we have been talking about it, but it's right up there with the rest of the stuff. So.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, look, it's Anthony
by,
walking around out
just
for a morning
hey.
Constitutional.
He's going to come chill in one of the green chairs.
He's
going to come over here. That's great.
I don't have a mic. But
That's okay. You can talk between us. You can pick up on both mics.
I don't have a mic, so I'm gonna speak up loud. Hello, everybody. I love you all. I miss you all. This particular seating situation just didn't work out for me for this Q&A. But keep in mind, I am laying comfortably on that couch inside that
Are you
front
watching
room,
the show? Just
watching,
sitting on the
watching.
TV?
Well, I had to take a couple calls to doctor's office, but other than that, though, I have been.
It's important.
I have been watching, and I think it's quite hilarious that there was this other Anthony that
I
chimed
know,
in.
right? This is so nice of him to just pop in there.
He had said something along the lines of like massages and like chip cookies.
Yeah, we're gonna get chip
bunnies.
cookies tomorrow for for you here at the studio.
I just think that would be necessary, right, for the healing process, right?
Yeah.
Like a spiritual thing, and then ideally we do make it to Dane's backyard.
Yeah.
And where his seances are.
Where we bury your back pain in the backyard.
In that pile of
and we call
that
it
heart
the
of
back
flowers.
pain yard.
it's like the what's that movie
That's my hand.
It's like
I wash my hands of this.
What's that? The animal graveyard movie. What's that called?
Pet Cemetery?
Cemetery?
Animal Graveyard.
No.
What's that Animal Graveyard movie? Pet Cemetery?
That's a Stephen King book.
You Pet Cemetery me, and I come back as just not me, but like kind of me. I'm like, crap!
It's not what I wanted.
It's not what I wanted.
This isn't quite right.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi. I'm still watching. I'm still in the comments. So, anyways, next week we'll have my couch out here.
Yes.
And I'll be able to kick my feet up.
We'll enhance the set a
And
little
with
bit.
that, let's go to break.
Great
So that
timing.
we can all go get a drink, go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
Anthony can walk around. And we'll see you just after these messages.
Just welcome back to the second half of Q&A Thursday here at the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. That's a mouthful, but I got used to it by this point. Levi, any updates before we go back into the questions? Anything we want to touch on?
No, just make sure you guys are signed up for the newsletter. Because as you guys, those of you that are signed up have seen, we've started announcing when there's new videos drop.
Yeah.
So that way you guys can check it out. It's also got links to any of the products that we use, so you can, in that video, so you can go and pick them up if you want.
It helps.
And then, yeah, check that out. Make sure you're signed up. That way you know when the sales drop. And we've got a lot coming up for the summer. So make sure you head on over to theragcompany.com, sign up for the newsletter, and yeah, get going on it.
Boom,
pretty much.
there it is. All right, guys, so getting back into the commentary here, I've got Umberto saying bugs on a coated vehicle can be removed easy with a rinseless or a waterless tube.
Yeah,
and
course.
He's not wrong.
That's why you coated the car.
Assuming, yes, in that case, on a coated vehicle, it should be very simple, especially if they're fresh bugs. The bugs and
But that's what I mean
really,
by a weekly wash.
Yes, anything that has a chance to bake in, of course, is going to be a little more difficult. But if you get it within a day or two, you're pretty good.
Yeah, and even a week if you've got a coated vehicle, like if you
and if it's coated, yes.
Let's say you took the Miata and you and Liz said, hey, we're going to drive up to McCall, and you hit a bunch of bugs, and you come back. But you waited a week, right? Yeah. So you came back on Monday or Sunday, and you're like, man, car's dirty. Monday you drove it to work. Tuesday you drove it to work. Friday you're like, just got to get it washed.
Yeah.
You pull it into the outdoor wash bay. Technically, you should be able to blast most of those bugs off with just the water because of the fact that you've got it coated. It's got PPF on it. It's ready to go. And anything that you didn't get, you would have a clay scrubber sitting in your wash bucket because one side's a clay. The other side is a Jersey bug scrubber. So you could just knock off the rest of them, be done.
Most importantly, I shouldn't be seeing any etching as long as I get it fairly quickly.
Yep, there you go.
There we go.
All right.
Jeff? Is that a... I don't mean to be rude.
Jeff
is that
Grimson.
I've never heard that name before.
Hey, Jeff.
That's a new one. Cool.
So I was wondering, I was ordering Super Foam and somehow ended up ordering Active Foam instead. Could I add a bit of Green Star to my Active Foam pre-wash mix to get near the same level of cleaning as I would get from Super Foam? No. You would pretty much stay the same level. You're not gonna. So yes, you're gonna increase some of the actives from Green Star in Active Foam, but Active Foam is already kind of close to what Green Star and GSF are mixed together.
Some people use them as a substitute. If they run out of one, they can always go and use the other, and it's pretty close.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we're talking about like if Active Foam's a 9, we're talking about that GSF and Green Star mixed together is probably about an 8, 8.5.
Yeah, in the 8 range.
Because you got to add water, you've got to add the soap and the other product, and the water is going to dilute that. So adding Active Foam, which is a 9, and Green Star, which I believe is an 11 or a 12, into that with the water, you're pretty much bringing that down to about a 9. You're not getting up to where Super Foam is like a 12, right?
Yeah.
So, or 14, like it's 12, I think. So that's a huge jump. So you'd have to get something higher at like a pH of 14 to help bring that down. So, but you're going to get, I think you'd still be very, very happy with the clean that you will get from Active Foam. And even if you do decide to use a little Green Star as a pre-wash or whatever, I think you'll be fine. So
there you go.
I find that I have Super Foam and I rarely use it.
Right. I mean, Super Foam is the most extreme of the options that we provide for that kind of stuff, short of going to like a full-on acid.
Well, and Super Foam technically is designed to be a touchless wash.
Yeah, it's meant to do the work without you having to get in there. It's why during our cheap car challenge, the heap car challenge, I jokingly like sprayed your whole truck down with it because I was like, look, finally car wash I like to do where I didn't have to do anything. I just sprayed it.
So, Jeff C., speaking of using strong cleaners on coatings, would Magic Wheel Cleaner be a better choice for coated wheels since it's more pH neutral? Yes.
There we go.
Pretty much.
Nailed it. Super Auto here. BDE, Big Desk Energy. Yes,
thank you, Dale.
it dwarfs
Appreciate it.
us, but that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah.
Franco, Honey, I Shrunk the Dudes.
Nah.
It's a reacher-sized desk.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken.
Thank
There
you.
go.
It's like
I like the way you talk.
yeah. Scott Ohms.
Levi, have you ever heard of Sonax Perfect Finish with filler? Yes, I have. Contaminating the surface? Yes, I have. So coating wouldn't apply property, flash instantly, turning to my... Yes, I have. So Scott, if you go back in the OG archives, there are a lot of number of detailers that fell in love with Perfect Finish, but Perfect Finish did have a ton of fillers in it. And so the problem was that a lot of people were not realizing how much fillers were in it and mixing up their own bathtub gin to clean the surface of the vehicle as a prep solve prior to putting a coating on. So yeah, that's Sonax Perfect Finish is a good product, but it's like using Uno Protect or something like that, where it's got, or P101, something with a wax or a sealant in it that is just it's gonna not work the same way. But yes, I totally have. We coated Matt Mormon's S2000 back in the day. Me and Bradley Nielsen polished that whole thing out, and it was, yeah, there was a lot of folks that were like, oh, we're gonna use Perfect Finish and yellow foam, and
They were convinced that was the way to go.
Yeah, we just got it cut and polished and ready for coating, but there was a lot of naysayers that were like, you guys should be using this, and we had it, but it was still, that car was so soft. It's hard to...
Some people, without actually testing a thing first, they're just convinced they know the answer already, and
A lot of young detailers don't do a lot of that. You know, they don't understand that you have to do a large amount of trial and error.
Right, and some people think it's like a math problem. Like, as long as I got the right numbers, I'll always get the same result, and that's not how that works.
Yeah, but
So.
no, but yeah, I totally have. Sorry you had to deal with that, Scott.
Yeah, that's not fun. CJ Byrne, 27. Anthony's love of rodents living in his car's engine bays.
Yeah,
This is
that's
pointing
another
out
good one.
more TRC lore.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you,
Yes,
CJ.
more lore. David
More lore.
Cervantes saying, all jokes aside, Dane, do you still have the Flex? Yes, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
He's actually taking it on a road trip.
I will
couple
be
weeks.
taking a road trip to the California Redwoods in another month or two here, so that'll be fun. Next up, we got Brian. Brian saying, Levi.
Will I sacrifice some clarity of the paint by getting PPF? Considering it for a vehicle doing very long distance trips 2 to 3 times a year, is PPF worth it, or do I just need a ceramic and no PPF? That's up to you, Brian. If clarity of the paint is going to bother you, then I wouldn't get it. However, you could PPF shop. There are a number of PPFs that have a higher clarity, less orange peel look than a lot of, because that was the big thing. People go, man, I spent all this money to get this paint corrected to look perfect. And then I put PPF on half the car, and now the front half just looks a little more, textured than the back half. And even though the back half still has the current orange peel because nobody sanded it out, if that's going to be something that's really going to bother you, then don't do it. Mm-hmm. But if what's going to bother you more is the rock chips and the bug guts and that kind of stuff, you can just then that's a reason, get the PPF. If you want to protect against that stuff, get the PPF. If it's I can't deal with the clarity, just coat it and understand that you're going to have to deal with the rest of the stuff.
Sure.
None of my cars have PPF because I haven't coated or I haven't done anything to my vehicles that I'm not buying a brand new car either.
No.
If I bought a brand new car, I probably would PPF it because I'd want to keep it looking its best as long as possible. If I'm buying a used vehicle, it's already got rock chips and things and bug guts and etchings. If I decided to repaint a whole front clip like Anthony has done on his, then yeah, I would probably go the extra mile and have that stuff done.
Yeah, once you get it cleaned up, it's like it's fresh again. So
because I wouldn't worry about the clarity. That's not something that bothers me. We had that S2 or the Honda Civic SI, SIR Type R that we did.
Oh yeah, the
Steve's.
Civic Type R. Yeah,
Man,
Steve's
he's
white
got that
one.
thing. The whole car is wrapped in PPF. We did a Satisfying Saturday on it. That whole car is wrapped in PPF. It's stunning. It looks
PPF
gorgeous.
is a lot better now than it used to be.
That too, and it looks so good with that PPF. I think it almost is more glossy.
And that was one of the things, like when Anthony and Jimmy and I were down at Matt's place in Florida, Obsessed Garage, at his house. We had some conversations about like his cars and PPF and whether he for the longest time he wasn't a fan of PPF on the cars because he didn't like the way it looked. He thought it looked like a weird plastic shell over the car, and it just had this weird kind of like looking through the deli glass at the paint. Now, although after seeing it in person, like it hides it well. Like if you get the right stuff, it's applied correctly, you really can hide it to 99.9% of people. Only like an extremely astute detailer is going to know that car's PPF.
Yeah, there are some that are almost not
When
noticeable.
it's on a complete car, you don't see any seams, that kind of thing. In the case of the Miata, the reason I went to the trouble of PPFing that was because I knew, use case-wise, I wanted to drive it a lot, and the places I was going to drive it tended to have rocks flying up and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
if you keep that car, if you keep that car for 10 years, you're going to replace that PPF.
Yeah, and it's a
to
white
keep
car.
it looking nice.
And the ND Miatas famously have kind of brittle paint, so they're susceptible to that kind of thing, even more so than other cars apparently. So I just wanted to be a little extra careful. But the Flex, there's nothing on that. It gets chipped up. That's just life. But it's also, I have 2 pearl white cars with black roofs. I don't know how it wound up that way, but it did.
I think it was planned.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of which, Dane needs a zoom knuckle tats. Yeah. What if we have
That's
bro
hilarious.
knuckle tats? I just get zoom on here. That'd be kind of fun.
Dane has
Not
no
fun to actually get
tattoos
it done.
except for knuckle tats, job stoppers as
I'm
we
not
call
against tats. I would love to have some sleeves and stuff. It's one of those things that over time you eventually get around to it, maybe.
them. Chris M, is the Coach Chemi auto shampoo too aggressive for washing biweekly? No. So it's a little higher, but you got to remember too that anywhere in the 5 to 8 is considered pH neutral, and most water falls in that category. So,
All right.
no. So, because most people go, oh man, I'm washing with this with the 7 soap. Well, your water is 8.5. So, just spraying it with a hose, you're already hitting it with something that's a higher alkali.
Yeah.
So
water could differ from location to location, so you can't always just.
I just
assume
found
it's
out that
gonna
my
be the
water
same.
parts per million, 80.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
At
Wow,
my
you're
house,
good.
coming out of my tap, 80 parts per million.
Around here, that's very
Well,
low.
and my buddy Keith was
Very
like, "What do you
low.
think it is?" I was like, "Probably 320."
Yeah.
And
That's
he
what you
checks,
expect around
and he
here.
goes, looks at, he's like, "What? 80? What the heck?"
You're like, test it again.
Both
I don't-
of us, yeah, we
I
did.
don't
We were like,
believe
I
that.
made him test it like 3 times. Anthony was there. We were like, "What the heck? How did you get?
Holy.
How are you
yeah.
at an 80?" So
The pro
yeah,
tested
I don't
it,
know.
So. Huh. Brian,
Pretty
of
sweet.
course, following up saying, obviously ceramic coatings don't provide impact protection. Just wanted to hear your
Yeah,
thoughts. regarding
everything
the
I own,
PPF.
Brian, is coated, but I don't have any PPF on
Yeah.
mine, and that's
I
just
mean,
because who I am.
even if a
Yes.
coating doesn't provide impact protection, it does offer you that slight chance of preventing something happening to your paint underneath.
Well,
it's not a guarantee.
and
but
here's the thing. You
it's
wanna
better than not
customize?
having something.
PPF has come a long way, and now with tinted colored PPF,
Oh,
you could do a ton. So like if you want to wrap your roof black, why not do it in a gloss black PPF so it looks like glass?
Yeah, for real.
Now it looks really cool. It looks nice, right? And you've got 10 years of UV protection, where if you just put a vinyl wrap on, you have 3 years and you've got to replace
Yeah.
it. So there's
a
a
good point.
lot of benefits to some of the PPF things that are out there now.
It's fair.
You know, they make carbons. They've got like all kinds
Yeah,
of
they
different
got all
stuff.
kinds of neat
Forged
ones.
carbon style. They've got. You could
looks
do
cool.
mirrors. Like you could do a lot now. LHF detailing. All those forever cars have led Dane to the latest forever fleet. That's right.
That's right. Hopefully it stays that way for a while. I feel like it will. We've got the one who shall remain nameless, Travis.
What does lacquer thinner do to glass? It depends on the glass. Some have certain coatings on them, laminate coatings. It differs from manufacturer to manufacturer as to what they did. Sometimes they can dull it out. It just makes it a little more matte, or it'll show more of a spot, and you have to buff that out.
So it'll kind of look like a permanent streak that never went away.
Yeah, kind of. Permanent streak that never went away. It's like a high spot in the glass.
How annoying.
David Cervantes, Anthony is off tomorrow. His clip tool should be showing up then.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay. Good.
That'll be fine.
We'll take care of it for him.
And then Super Auto, have you ever seen them
Anthony.
both in the same room? Only just Anthony Fisher. That's the only one that I've seen. I've never met All Day Anthony.
I've held a camera for All Day Anthony
you
before,
have?
in a
Okay.
rare occasion where he wasn't holding it for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said that other Anthony had to use the bathroom or something at that time.
Yeah, he stepped out for a little bit. So it happens.
It's usually what happens when we're looking. Like we come in the building here, and sometimes I go, "Where's Anthony?" Oh, he's in the bathroom, or "Oh, he's over on the couch." You know, so he's easy to miss.
Their voices.
Sometimes he's like, "Guys, I've been here the whole time. Been sitting on the couch
Yeah.
the whole time," and people go, "Oh my gosh, it's crazy."
You just walk right by him. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Their voices do sound alike.
They
says
do.
Super Auto.
They
I
do.
agree. All right. Tony needs an eagle blanket.
Seabass is currently using it for his shoulders because he's cold as he's editing. So otherwise we would grab it and put it on Anthony. Franco says it's like catnip for freaking clones.
I don't even know what that's in reference
eagle
to, except
blanket.
maybe the Anthony stuff. Oh, right.
Super Auto, which one of you has a voodoo doll of Anthony that you keep torturing? Neither one of us.
Don't
but
look at us.
Augie did have something he was poking at with some needles. I didn't look at it very hard. I thought he was just doing that.
I think we may have
But that
our
might be,
answer.
I'll have to check. That might be what it is. I
Oh,
didn't even think
no.
about that.
Yeah, that could very well be it.
Could be Augie.
All right, we've got Alex here. I recently had a vehicle with some fairly fresh duct tape residue on the rubber trim seal from holding a window up that fell off a track. It happens. Compound on a rip and rag removed all of the residue perfectly.
There you go.
That's good news.
That's awesome, Alex.
Rip and rags always finding new uses for them. I love it. Super Auto with the very helpful tip. Smash that like button.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
Appreciate
please. And Umberto here. Go ahead, Levi.
I like wet sanding paint because you avoid pigtails caused by clogged material on sandpaper when dry sanding. Yeah, it's almost like you feel like you clean the paper more.
That's fair. Oh, that's a good point. And Air First here. Ah, there's the
What's
lads.
up, man?
Good to see you here, buddy. And oh no, Super Auto saying Eddie has a Dawn-infused Krenzla setup in his garage. That seems like, does it just inject Dawn while it's pumping out the...
Yeah, sounds like it.
Okay. Instead of doing the Matt Mormon style double Krenzla setup, it's just a Krenzla and then it's a full tank of
bottles
Dawn.
of
Just
Dawn,
just an entire plastic container.
There's 3
sistered
bottles
in.
of Dawn?
It's crazy, man. It's just a little hose going to each one, top to top.
Or
to
it's
top.
like a pipe with three things, and then
Oh,
each
right,
one's
yeah.
like stuck inside of it, so it drains from the.
Okay, I see it.
pull in.
Okay.
That looked pretty rad, actually.
Air First. I don't know what's in the sky these days. The water spotting the last week or two is really grim. Now, I
I'm pretty
have
sure
heard-
it's dirty rain, as we call it.
I've heard you guys
Made
sometimes
its way
get
across.
winds that blow up from like northern Africa. They'll send up some like really sandy, dusty, dirty kind of airflow. But I might be talking out of
Saharan
the rear here.
winds.
I've heard people talk about
A lot
the
of people
Saharan
do.
winds before.
Yeah, in the UK and Ireland both
Okay,
get hit.
that might make sense. So perhaps that's what it was. You might want to look that up.
But yeah, we get basically the same. We're in a high desert, and so when the wind hits up here, it'll pull some of the dirt and sand off the mountains and
we got
onto
our
our
own
stuff,
sand.
and then it spits rain at the same time, and everything just gets sticky and mixes with the pollen that's in the air, and it just turns to glue. So
It's not great.
Super Auto, and then Uncle Adam has the Chihuahua pack towels as well.
They're like the wolf pack, but
Yeah.
they're smaller and angrier. Yeah, okay, we got possibly some sand, dust, or construction close.
Yep.
I mean, that's always an option too. Franco, what's he saying later?
Tried to use an OptiSeal like quick beads, spray on, rinse off. Huge mistake. No, you cannot use it like that. OptiSeal is a far superior product. No, I'm just kidding. The OptiSeal is designed to be put on with an applicator and wiped off, or sprayed on and wiped off with a towel.
Yeah.
So Sorry, Franco. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you don't rinse it because it's more like, I jokingly refer to it like olive oil.
Yeah, it actually, the consistency is really close. If you watch our old videos when Ivan was like demonstrating a lot of that stuff to you guys, it was a lot like that. It creates a little slick.
But yeah, it's easier to just apply it like, I like the way you apply it by wax, like wax, where you just spray it on the applicator and then go around the vehicle and apply it.
Yeah.
And then come back around, and by the time you get to the other side, it's pretty much almost gone. You just take a towel and buff it off, and it's crazy. The surface tension's gone. It's wild. It feels great. Looks good. A lot of gloss.
Even to this
amazing
day,
product.
it's not a new product by any means, but it works great.
Yeah, you can even put it on the windows, inside and out. It's awesome.
Yeah, it feels like you're applying a coating.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aaron Bauer here. Levi, you see the trailer for Dune Prophecy? The Bene Gesserit origin story looks dope. Les Al-Gaib.
I'm very excited for that. Yeah, I was listening to it was an NPR story about it the other day in the car. So yeah, I'm very stoked for that show. It's going to be on Max.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to carry it on.
Franco, Ire first. What up, my dude?
Saying hey. Who's the guy in the middle, though? Wow, this is back when Anthony was sitting in between us. So there you go. But we got a little hello to Anthony from Umberto.
For those wondering, Carly and I watched Dune in the theater a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And then we have watched it. As soon as we got home, we had it on our TV as well. And don't ask me, but we basically downloaded it and then have watched it probably 5 times since we've seen it. So it was one of those, like, it took us a while to get to watch Dune 2, but once we did, there was no stopping us after that.
It's a good time.
So, yeah.
I mean, OptiSeal/HyperSeal.
Yeah, same way. You got to use them the same way.
Yeah.
OptiSeal and HyperSeal act exactly the same.
Let's see. Not good. We're being invaded by Plan, much like yourselves, I'm sure. Other than that, I'm fine. I think he's referring to the rain again. Superato here saying, Levi and Dane presenting Anthony with cookies tomorrow while chanting, Anthony got back, to the tune of Baby Got Back. Or like a baby back ribs.
Well, he won't be here, but we'll present the cookies in his honor to his empty desk, but then we'll probably eat them all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only logical conclusion there. Let's see. I know I probably said it about 20 times, but I'm absolutely loving Absolute.
Oh, thanks, man.
Really
Appreciate
enjoying
it.
that.
Yeah.
PNS Absolute Rinseless Wash. Excellent product.
That's what I mixed up last week.
Yeah. What were you using it on?
The couple cars that I had.
Right. Yeah. DS. Here we go.
What trim products are you guys using to dress elaborate black plastic grill work? What type of material is it? Is it a textured plastic and not a glossy, shiny plastic? Because if it's a textured plastic, I would probably use a brush and some PSS, or I've been using. So I got a paintbrush that I've been using to brush Gummy Fix on stuff.
Yeah.
Or Goof, the KCX Goof.
When DS says elaborate, I think they are probably meaning like intricate, like an egg crate grill.
The other thing you can do is get the spray applicator.
Oh, yes. Hey, you got one right there. Crazy.
You can put a little OptiBond in it and spray the grills.
That actually would do the work very quickly compared to sitting there and
very quickly. Just OptiSeal. Or not OptiSeal, OptiBond tire gel in here, and just
goes a long way very quickly.
And then you're done. You let it sit.
Easy.
Finish the rest of the car, and then it's the last thing you wipe.
Yeah.
Just run a towel over it.
So, I like that idea.
Yeah.
All right. Elaborate grills are my bane, says Franco.
That's what this was developed for. Not just tires and their fender wells, guys, but for also your grills. The gills, the dorsal fins, the intakes, all the different stuff. That's what this tool is for, is to get into those more intricate, tighter areas and dress
You're giving
them.
off a lot of Tony Montana vibes as you sit here and wave that thing around.
You don't understand.
Hans Closen, better watch out. Danico, borrow your TRC stuff and run away.
Yeah.
Yes.
The kids have been doing an awesome job with that video. I'm super proud of both of them for doing that. So
those guys are great.
TRCU.
Love them.
Dylan and Danique and Quentin. I mean, those three have been like just having so much fun making videos.
They're making it fun.
And doing some silly stuff. So we're really, really impressed with what they've been putting up with.
So shout out them. Hans, I never use bug sprays. I just wash the car with O&R and use a bug scrubber. The bug scrubber can do the heavy lifting.
Well, O&R can do heavy lifting. O&R dissolves organic material like that. So it'll break all that off. It makes it the easiest thing. And it was funny because I used to have to use harsh bug removers, and then I started using O&R, and I was like, wow, this is so much easier, safer, simpler.
Well, the idea is when you're using that, you're gliding over the surface. You're not digging into the surface or like melting away the top layer of any kind of protection or anything. You're just gliding.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the point. Air here we've got, is it just me or, is it just me that can remove water spots with Absolute? I spray it, give it 5, then wipe, and voila.
No, that's pretty much, usually that means they're not a hard water spot.
Yeah, that would be the case. Because I wouldn't expect it to remove hard water spots because you need a different kind of product
but
to do
that product is also designed that if it dries on the surface, you can just wet it and give it a wipe and you're good. So that is one of the things that it does. It creates a polymer spot if you let it dry.
Easy thing to wipe up.
Tommy Chicago with a welcome back, guys, from a rainy New Jersey. I hope Anthony gets better soon. Can't wait for the new digs, and I miss you guys. Miss you too, brother. It was good seeing you last year.
And thanks. I can't wait to show you guys the new setup once it's done. It's going to be really fun. Franco, I don't like snot-like texture of bug removers. Well, I mean, there's differing viscosities for sure, but maybe you just got one that's a little snotty. Josh McKay, good afternoon, gentlemen. Glad you're back at it. We are too.
Oh, thanks,
man. We're kind of missing this.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back out. You guys got to keep these detailing questions coming, though. Got to get back in the swing of things. Franco, what is the difference between sprouts and snots kids will eat? Oh, boy. Thanks, Air. Yeah, so they're having fun. David Boyce, Levi, you got this.
Are we still having to wait till SEMA for the IK Pro 2 battery powered since the ad just ran during the break? Man, what a bummer if it's true. Yep, it is. You have to wait till SEMA.
Yep.
That is, we just love teasing you to let you guys know that it's going to be coming someday.
Yeah, it's more fun to make people sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just, the anticipation will go.
You do have to wait till SEMA.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We don't control the production time on those things, but they managed to get some videos out there, so at least people are aware it's going to be a thing. DS. Dane, are there other podcast/YouTube shows that inspired your format change for the main show? That's a fair question.
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah, so there are some different podcasts and stuff that I listen to, or I watch a ton of like YouTube video essays, like architecture, car-related stuff. That's kind of my own personal taste, but yeah, there's like a framework to it. Like they kind of do kind of a hot take kind of thing at the beginning where it gets your attention, and then it goes through like an intro part where it's like, okay, here's a familiar like musical theme or whatever, and then it gets into the meat and potatoes of it, and they do the thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a lot of different things, but I mean, you guys have seen, I don't know if you've seen my flow chart. I literally designed a flow chart, like an infographic to explain how the show's supposed to function. But we'll put it to the test later in the next week or two here. So that's going to be the real thing. But I don't want to say too much until we kind of get it squared away. But, it's going to be very different from what you're familiar with right now. If you're looking for the kind of fun, faster paced, kind of goofy kind of stuff, I think Q&A will still be able to give us that while answering your detailing questions.
Once we have Anthony in here.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely goof it up a bit having Anthony in here. That'll help a lot. But as far as the main show goes, it's definitely getting a refocus, and it's going to be really interesting getting to do more deep dives into topics, spending a good amount of time of like actually deep diving something interesting. I had an idea for a particular one that I'm really excited to try at first, having to do with testing and things like that. I think that could be very cool. But apart from that, there will be guest interviews, and that'll be its own kind of thing. So really, I'm not going to go into all of it just yet, but rest assured, it's going to be very high quality. That's my big thing, is really, really trying to make it high quality. All right, Superado, go ahead.
The XPEL PPF I have on my Camaro looks amazing. It was coated with G-Technic after as well.
There we go.
Nice, yeah.
Bam. Franco.
I'm getting piano blacks PPF'd in the headlights, XPEL pre-cut panels. There you go,
right.
Nice.
Yeah, that works.
And so XPEL is a thumbs up. XPEL is a thumbs up. It's a good product, good brand. There's a lot of great PPFs.
There we go.
They're doing a lot.
Now Franco's saying, nice, I bought the kit from Underground Graphics, just waiting to get it installed on my Bronco Sport.
Perfect.
Nice. And I believe, oh no, you're falling asleep here. Guys,
No,
we
sorry, just yawning.
Yeah, spruce this up.
This is
We
a
still got
weird
20
seating
minutes.
position for
All
me.
right. You're too
My knees are
comfortable.
pushed, my chest is over. This is
That's
like
right. This is not a desk you could normally like sit
Yeah.
at with your legs underneath. You're more like doing a weird split thing here.
KCX Auto Shampoo is active foam, just without the scent, correct? Pretty much.
There you go.
It's a cheaper version of auto or active foam. It's supposed to be more bargain friendly.
Yeah, I mean, if your point is just to get the result and you don't care about the aesthetic qualities, then yeah, that could be for you.
Craig Schwent, what's your favorite use for an Eagle 500? Waterless wash? Yeah, you could do that. I like it for quick detailers. I like it for Dreammaker. I like it for compound and polish removal on certain compounds and polish. I like it for secondary insurance, secondary or third.
Last step product kind of stuff.
Yeah, but also for coatings. I like it as a second or third level towel.
Yeah, you've already gone over the surface with like a pearl or something first, and then your Eagle is your follow-up.
Yeah, either a pearl or an Edgeless 365, and then the Eagle is my final wipe. A lot of it is last step stuff, so final touch.
Makes sense. Then Contemplative Rooster, any thoughts on lifetime, puts it in scare quotes, coatings? Are they just a marketing ploy?
I don't think they are. I've seen the chemistry. I've talked to a number of chemists, and what actually, what happens is most people think that lifetime is a word that is really surprising or scary or, oh my gosh, I can't believe. What they mean is it is going to be a lifetime coating as long as it's maintenance properly. And it's a lifetime coating if we put a lifetime coating on Dane's Miata and you put it on there, I can sell you a lifetime coating because you're going to say, well, yeah, I'm going to keep it. I want it to stay nice. But the PPF that's on there really needs to be replaced at the 10-year limit. And if there's coating on top of that PPF, well, now we've removed that.
Yeah.
So that coating part isn't lifetime.
Right.
If you own the car for 3 years and you maintenance it exactly as it's supposed to, and your car looks as perfect as the day you bought it, cool, it did its job.
Yeah.
You sell it to the next person, you go, and it's got a lifetime coating on it, but you have to follow the maintenance schedule where, hey, you need to be washing it, properly. You need to be, making sure that it's deconned once a year. You need to make sure that, you're just inspecting and making sure it looks good. They might go, okay, cool. And they're going to start running it. They're going to run it through the Mr. Car Wash down the street every week or 3 times a week.
Because let's be honest, most people aren't wired like us
Right.
when it comes to this
so
stuff.
That
detailing.
coating may last that customer 5 more years, and now you've got an 8-year coating that's finally on its last legs and gone.
Sure.
Or you get a lifetime coating, you own the car for 8 years, you pass it on to your kid, and your kid takes it and destroys it, or your niece or nephew or whatever. Yeah, it's a lifetime coating. That car is going to look better than other cars of its age because of that coating providing a sacrificial layer. But realistically, I have an 06 Elantra. I could have coated it back in 2006 with a lifetime coating.
Sure.
And it probably would still be holding up. But you've got to remember, I've also done a ton of different maintenancing and worked on tried different products and different things on it. So it was how long are you going to, and at the end of the day, it's not just a marketing ploy, it's how long are you going to take care of that and keep that car in that position? If you're going to own that car and you bought it brand new and that's going to be your pride and joy for the rest of your life, then do get that, because what it's going to give you is more strength, better bonding. Yes, hydrophobics may suffer a little, but most coatings that have high capabilities of sticking to the surface more are going to sacrifice hydrophobics for protection.
which is
It's going to have
such a
more UV, more chemical resistance, more scratch resistance, but it is going to sacrifice hydrophobics. But hydrophobics is very, very easy to add.
Hydrophobics are that thing that sells people on coatings visually. Hydrophobics are that thing that when they stop, i.e. stops being hydrophobic, people are convinced, oh, it's dead. You know, oh, it's gone.
No, it's just dirty.
And it's like, not necessarily.
Also, most longer life or lifetime coatings have a lot of carbon in them.
Sure.
Whether that's a diamond, whether that's just carbon like OptiCoat, or like some of the
Silica.
System X diamond or silica carbide, like there's a different level. And that tends to make the coating, in essence, a little stickier. So it's going to capture dirt and grime a little more. But it's still going to prevent, and if you went microscopically, it's still going to prevent a lot of that contamination from sitting on the surface. It's going to hold it, but it's going to be able to be rinsed or washed away. And most people tend to get too hung up on that, where they're like, whoa, like you say, it's gone, it's not doing it. All right, we'll add some more hydrophobics to it, because that's the only thing that failed. So add a topper, add something like C2V, or Exo V5. If you look at it, Exo V5 is technically a topper that provides a high level of hydrophobics.
But the funny thing about that, this is something that always
That's what
comes
Sol
up.
does. That's what all these one-year coatings are.
People who spend, frankly, a little too much time on the internet and not enough time necessarily like worrying about other things will decide that their sports team is a given brand or coating, whatever kind of specific thing they latch onto. And it turns into this game of, oh, well, as soon as you add like some kind of topper, that's cheating. It's not the coating anymore doing that. It's something else. Now it's like, well, that's not really a lifetime. Well, it's not really. And it turns into this battle that doesn't need to exist, but you're constantly in, this is getting very inside baseball. The thing with coatings that's been the case for the last several years is this battle online of people saying, oh, this coating failed, this coating worked or didn't work based on these expectations because this brand said that it was a lifetime or this many years coating. The thing is, they'll be comfortable saying something like that as a brand if they have certain expectations that have to be met. Like, okay, you have to do these things and then it'll qualify as this kind of coating in our eyes, as you know, as a professional
one of those
company
is
who
not running
produces
it
a
ever
product.
through an automatic
If we say
wash.
it's a 10-year coating, it's because we believe that in 10 years, given the right care, it is possible that this could make it that far. And if it doesn't make it that way for some reason, we will take care of you if you at least made an honest effort to try.
Yeah.
And that's usually how this stuff is approached. The problem is you'll get people maybe on the consumer end here where they look and they go, oh, a 10-year coating? I can treat this thing like utter crap, and if it fails, I'm just going to hit the infinite money glitch, repeat button and just keep getting it replaced. It's like, no company's going to want to do that forever. Like, yes, at the end of the day, they're there to make money, but nobody who is a authentic, genuine, good person running a business wants to screw over their customer. That's bad business. So a lot of times people will ascribe some kind of motive to this stuff of like, oh, they said it was.
What is your version of lifetime?
Yeah. And I don't
like, how are you going to sell it the best way to your customer? And if you say, hey, look, if you're going to own this car for 6 years, 8 years, then I recommend going with a lifetime coating. If you're going to keep this car for 3 years and trade it in, then let's just throw the 3-year coating on it, because you're not going to care after you've traded it in.
Right.
Or 5 years. If that's the way they work, then just change it every few years. That's why manufacturers make so many different variations. If this is just a gap car to get me through this year, but I just want to keep it nice so that I don't lose any value, okay, then let's throw a 1-year coating on it. How are you going to wash it? I'm going to wash it myself. I'm going to take good care of it, and I'm going to buy some product from you. Okay, here you go.
At the end of the day, 1 year. Some protection will always be better than no protection.
I have a customer who puts a 5-year coating on his truck every year.
And in terms of bang for buck, he finds that's a sweet spot.
It's a business truck, and it gets run through the car wash 2-3 times a week.
Woo, yeah, that's gonna test
And the reason
coating.
he does that is because he wants it buffed and polished every year, looking its best, have the coating reapplied.
Sure.
Because he knows it's going to get scratched, and what he's using it for is a sacrificial layer to keep that work truck looking its best, because he knows the car wash is going to scratch it up.
Yeah.
But he wants the car wash, he wants the coating to get scratched, not
Right, yeah. Scratch
Not the
that
clear
layer,
coat.
not my actual paint underneath, which is the thing that, at the end of the day, that's all you're trying to protect. If it's wearing a coat, you know, like a person wearing a coat, their skin's not getting scratched up, that coat's getting scratched up. And
Yep.
that's what you want, because you can take that coat off at the end of the day, and hey, your skin is still
Yeah.
there, feeling silky smooth,
Yep.
just as it always was.
100%.
That's the idea.
so.
I know I'm explaining this to people like they don't already know this, but some people don't. So just trying
Well,
to make
it's-
sure we cover
yeah.
all the bases.
For our listeners to explain to others.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
Ire. Thanks, fellas. I have my two identical twin nieces here beside me, Ella and Millie. They're making their first communion Saturday and love yous lads.
Aw.
Congratulations, Ella and Millie.
Yeah, congrats. And thank you for watching. We appreciate that. All right, we got Franco. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
on
yeah.
to page 1. Holy cow. There we
go.
are.
We're catching up.
With Air saying nice. And then we've got Gerard. Oh,
Gerardo with Gardo Detailing. Hey, TRC, Gerardo here, longtime listener, first-time commenter.
well, you have a
up,
fun
dude?
name. I hope you comment more.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. All right, so he's got a question for you.
Okay. Question for Levi. Is it possible to utilize the last cut as the initial step and then proceed to Uno Advanced without removing the initial product from the surface? Yes, you can. However, I would recommend that you do remove the last cut, only for the fact that Uno Protect's sealant will work better. It will bond better to the surface. That's the main
go.
reason. You'll get more protection removing last cut. So,
There we go.
and then applying Uno Advance, or Advance, I should say. Because it's a
Right.
ceramic, I would recommend that. I've done it in a pinch in certain panels and stuff when I've been correcting, but really to get the best level, you need to be able to do that. So,
All right, Superado here. Saw someone comment on Facebook that they received a new bottle of Absolute and it wasn't chunky like his last bottle. Revised formula out now? Question mark?
possibly, we don't know. I just know that Dave is always continually updating the formulas and checking for things to make sure everything works right. And he's always revising, but he's not going to ever say, hey, new formula is revised.
No, if
They're
it,
always going to make tweaks and
if it works, it
things.
works, and hopefully there aren't any drawbacks. I mean, that's the idea. Is just keep
it's really up
improving.
to the manufacturers to whether or not they want to tell you if it's a revised edition or formula or not. So,
There's some manufacturers who update constantly, and you would never know it
yep.
unless you're
Right.
literally watching the minute differences. But here we go. We've got Craig Schwent popping up on the screen.
Will you ever get the PNS pint of Bug Off in stock? Hopefully, Craig.
Some things take a minute.
Yeah. As of right now, we only have gallons.
Yeah.
So, and we're frozen on screen, Nick or Glenn. All right. Super Auto 2K, and also for spraying your ribs while grilling and smoking.
Nice. All
right.
right. Love that. And Detailing Vibes. Oh, it's been a minute since I've seen this one. Detailing Vibes 2006. Happy Friday Eve, TRC. Hope y'all had a great week. What's a good detail spray for after wash to dry a car off? So, like a rinse aid, a drying aid, perhaps.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff.
I know,
that
and you can use all kinds of
We've
stuff,
got,
frankly.
I mean, there's OptiSeal right there under your desk there, Dane.
Yeah.
that you can pull out. What else we got under here? That's pretty much it under the thing. OptiSeal's great. HyperSeal's great. Beadmaker's great. I would probably, Paint Gloss is great. Opti Car Wax is great.
That brings up a good point, though.
Glass is good. Parla's good.
Are you looking to introduce protection or not? Because if
Yeah.
you're using like paint gloss, you're really not looking to add protection. You just mostly want to clean the surface as it is. Little protection, but not that much.
Yeah. Just depends. But any of the drying aids are all good.
Yeah.
Dreammaker, there's a lot of good stuff.
No, you definitely wouldn't go wrong with any of those. All right, then Detailing Vibes 2006. Don't miss an episode if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe and like the show.
Thank you, Detailing Vibes.
Thank you, Detailing Vibes. I couldn't agree more. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And of course, we also have our main Rag Company channel where we drop a new video, usually every week. And it's been great lately with your latest video with the soaps. Man, you got to go see that if you haven't. It's so good. All right, I got Air First here. Tried to remove the snot joke. Oops, well, you didn't move it fast enough. We caught it.
Jamie, glad to see the boys back on the live streams. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie. All right, Franco.
Our first law, way worse things have been said on this cast. That's true.
That's true, yeah. It can get a little crazy around here, not going to lie. Jamie the Cleaner, what's up, saying hey. Everybody is saying hey to Jamie. Lots of love for Jamie between Easy Peasy and Easy Gleasy contest. Okay, there's lots of stuff going on outside of the frame here. I've got good detailing towel for rinseless or waterless to keep in the car. So what's something you keep in your center console, glove box?
I would keep a wolf pack.
Wolf pack? Yeah, I mean that's
Comes in a 3-pack now. Comes in a 9-pack. So a little 3-pack of those are great. It's nice to have.
Done. All right, David Cervantes here. Have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe. Appreciate it and appreciate you.
Thanks, David.
Thank you. And then we got Jamie here. Coming down to the wire, Franco. Yes, we're right here at the end. So, guys, get those questions in last minute. We only have about 6 minutes to go. All right, Air First. I'd be gutted if I didn't have to detail my car anymore, to be honest. It's my meditation and me time.
There you go. That's a good reason to
You feel
keep doing
pretty
it.
similarly about it, don't you? Oh, Riggs. Haven't seen you in a minute. Afternoon, everyone. Great seeing another live.
Thank you,
I
Riggs.
agree.
Welcome.
Thank you and welcome to the program, even if it is right here at the end. We appreciate you stopping by nonetheless. Hit that like, people, says Hans. Then Rick. There we go.
Rick
Levi.
Smith. My earlier question was about the new Easy Style Ultra Wheel Brush I've been wanting. I have the new Ultra Wheel and Body Brush, and I love it. See that, Rick? Let's see what you were doing there. We can figure out a way to make it not splatter all over everybody.
That's the big thing. Some people go with like a shield, but the shield stops you from being able to get
Shield's
all
not
the way
that big, Dane. It's
Yeah.
like this. It's not any bigger than the brush.
The shield is hilarious. It's like on those old-timey race cars where you get a sliver that like a crescent that's maybe like 2 inches tall.
Yep.
That's your windshield. Yeah, that's going to stop the bugs. Robin here.
You mentioned the wolf pack of towels for washing versus wash mitts. Just took a look on the website and noticed the 9-pack is out of stock. Will that be coming back into stock before Memorial Day? I hope so. Robin, you can also try Amazon, and we do have a 3-pack as well.
Yeah. So if you can't get one, try the other at least to get your hands on some Wolfpack towel.
Anthony, remember when everybody told us that towel wouldn't be a good towel, and it's just look at that, it's sold out now.
People were like, "Why do you want to sell a brown towel?"
You guys, nobody's going to buy a brown towel. So if we give it a cool name, they will, like the Wolfpack.
We were excited when we came up with the Wolfpack name and stuff. It really made the whole thing just that much better.
Bill Pearson flying in for Sydney's car show. Are you guys going to be there? Bill, some of us will all be there. Some of us won't.
So not all, but some.
We got a lot of stuff planned for that weekend, but it's going to be a busy week here at the Rag Company. So I would advise you to come in a little early if you can.
Yes.
So you can stop by and say hello. I know usually on that Friday they do a tour for folks that have come in here at the studio. People can stop by, say hello. I think I have to go up to Garden Valley for that day to do an RV show. So not on that Saturday, but the day before.
Gotcha.
On that Friday. So I may not be available, but yeah.
All right.
These boys will be here, unless they want to go up to Garden Valley with me. Mary saying thumbs up, y'all.
All right. Thank you, Mary. And Joey Belinsky, where'd you come from? Glad to have you guys back.
Thanks, Joey.
Yes, likewise. All day Anthony commenting again.
If you had to give up your socks or underwear for the rest of your life, which one would you give up?
Oh, dear. Why is that question tougher
underwear?
than you
It would
think
be underwear because I love wearing socks. That's like my number one thing. I love wearing socks.
I'll drop the socks before I go commando.
I can't do that. My feet would just hate my life. So
I'll figure out some way around.
Because I couldn't wear shoes. I could wear flip flops, but I couldn't wear
my feet
shoes.
to dry themselves out.
Oh no. That's a good. It's fun of All Day Anthony to pop in there with a little head scratcher like that. It's like a brain teaser. Bill Pearson, forgot you were back today. Just finishing up an absolute wash on my car, and we'll sit back and enjoy the replay. Oh, thanks,
Nice,
Bill. We appreciate it.
And thanks. Yeah, check out the whole thing. There was some good stuff today, although it was definitely a lot of people just kind of missing it and telling us.
Howie Gleason saying, welcome back. Always enjoy the show. Thank you, Howie.
Thank you, Howie. Oh, boy. Jeff C. responding to All Day Anthony.
Underwear. Then that way you could use the sock for other stuff.
Oh, okay. Anna Longfield. Are Dane, Levi, and Anthony the Wolfpack?
Possibly. We got a charcoal gray, a light gray, and a brown. So
yeah.
3 great towels, 3 great dudes.
It could be a one-man Wolfpack, a hangover situation.
No, you got to have a couple bros with you.
You got to have the bros.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd like to be the charcoal gray towel.
Let me be the big brown towel. I got to be the brown towel.
You be the big brown. So Anthony would be the light gray.
Yeah. That seems right on brand. Yeah, there you go. Robin
picked up a 9-pack during TRCMA. Just looking for more. I appreciate everything you guys do. Oh, thanks, Robin. I'm glad you picked up a pack.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that. Thank you.
It is a great towel. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Dane, you could use wash mitts as socks.
That's an option.
Yeah, Gabe's dad would use socks to wax cars back in the day.
It's just a simple reversal of uses. There we go.
Superauto, you could use a sock for partial underwear if needed. That's true.
Yep.
Kirby, thanks for the great end of the week show, guys. Get well, Anthony. Kirby, you get well.
Yeah. Thanks for leaving us with
you're
a red
physically damn, like your body is broken.
Oh, gosh.
Like you need to heal.
You need a break, buddy.
Yeah. You need to get better. Anthony's walking around eating snacks and spitting in a cup.
He's just on the other side of the cameras
he's
here.
Pretty much fine.
Spitting sunflower seeds.
Oh, seeds?
But thanks to you,
he's eating some sunflower seeds and spitting them in a cup, so he's fine.
We're all left with a Red Hot Chili Peppers mental image. Anna Longfield, I bought wolf packs because the paw print on the board. I mean, everybody's got their reason.
Those aren't paw prints. Right? You got to look again. Those aren't paw prints, Anna. Those are wolf heads.
Wolf heads. But at the same time, it's fun either way. Oh, you as well, Kirby. Thank you, All Day Anthony, for your care.
That was nice, All Day Anthony, to do that.
Eagle socks or pearl socks? Asked John at Clean and Shiny. Asking the real questions.
Pearl socks. Eagle socks would make my feet sweaty. And he'd be so hot in those.
Very hot.
And they'd get matted down, and they just. They'd be super thick. Yeah, they wouldn't work, John. They wouldn't work. You got to do a pearl sock.
And I think that is an appropriate place to end us for today. So thank you so much to everybody who tuned in as Levi and I sat here at the big desk that's clearly not appropriately sized for 2 people.
Feels like we're sitting on our knees. That's how it feels, like we're 2 kids on our knees. We're in chairs. Look, I'm on a chair that's as big as it is.
Like we look like we're altar boys.
We're literally sitting on chairs that go up as high as they go.
All right. So anyway, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in and watched today. I know you guys have missed it and you're longing for us to get back in the swing of things. Trust me, we hear you and we appreciate it. For those who have been missing the shows and want to keep the show going when the show isn't going, check out the Facebook group. Look at the Facebook discussion group for the Rag Company. You can find all the stuff you want to say to a lot of the regulars here. Have some chats, show some pictures, share your latest detailing adventures. Everything goes right there.
Yeah, and don't forget that the podcast hosting has moved over to Spotify, so you guys can actually leave us a message if you'd like. Just hit that button, record a little voice message, and we'll get that. We'll love to see what some people have to say.
We might include it in a future episode.
That'd be great.
So we'll figure out what we're going to do with those as time goes on. But yes, video podcast now available on Spotify. So looking forward to that. Anyway, guys, thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week for another Q&A Thursday as we continue to get the main show fixed up, spruced up, ready to see you when we're ready. All right. Adios, guys.
See ya.